Hey guys, TheJiggyJoe here with another Honest Joe review. I just got back from an early screening of Superman, which was directed and written by James Gunn. So let me start off by saying that I'm not actually the biggest Superman fan. I did see all of the latest movies. I liked Superman Returns, all of the Man of Steel movies, and I also liked Henry Cavill's portrayal of Superman in the most recent DC movies as well. With that being said, I do think that some of the more recent movies, especially with Zack Snyder and stuff, kind of fell a little bit short when it comes to the narrative and the story and stuff like that. I do kind of prefer the darker tones a little bit of the Superman movies. This one is definitely a little bit of a flip on its head. Now, when it was announced that James Gunn was going to be writing and directing the new Superman movie, I definitely had second thoughts a little bit, and I can definitely see how this movie will be a little divisive because of that, honestly. But with that being said, James Gunn is like a big reason why Marvel succeeded in the previous phase. For those of you guys who don't know, the way that they wrote and directed a lot of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies with the banter and stuff like that, they carried that over to basically all the other Marvel movies, and that's what made it like hyper successful. So when it was announced that James Gunn was going to be doing basically all the DC movies for the most part, and he's basically ahead of DC at this point, I really enjoyed Suicide Squad a lot, a ton actually. And even more recently, I really enjoyed the TV shows that he's been directing as well, the DC TV shows. He's got a couple of those out right now. But with that being said, I do think that this movie will be a little bit more divisive. It's not your typical superhero movie. He definitely made some like creative decisions on a lot of the cinematography, the music, and the writing. I do think that a lot of his humor does come through, but I think there's a lot of moments in the film that the humor does kind of remove yourself from the moment a little bit. And also with that being said, I do think it's a very heavily CGI film. But with that being said, also there's a lot of really fun moments in this movie. I thought the actor that portrayed Superman was fantastic. I thought he did a really good job. Was not a huge fan of Lois Lane in this rendition. She was okay. She felt a little bit more grounded, but with that being said, I think some of the other ones were a little bit better. I still do think that I prefer Henry Cavill a little bit more, but that is okay. That's just a preference. But also, there are a couple characters in this movie, I'm not going to spoil it, that definitely do stand out a lot, and they do fantastic. And I really don't want to get into spoilers. Maybe I'll do a couple of minutes at the very end of spoilers, and I'll give you guys a little bit of a warning. But I think one of the best aspects of this movie definitely was the pacing. The pacing was really, really good. I was really surprised about that. I don't think that the writing was 100% on par with some of his other films. I thought Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is one of the best superhero movies, period. And I think he does really well when he has other people in his ear kind of giving him earworms on what should be and should not be done with the movies. So I do think that they cast the characters in this film like tremendously. I was really a big fan of Lex Luthor in this film, as well as a couple other characters. They had Crypto the Superdog in this movie, which is not a spoiler. He's in all of the trailers basically, and I thought he was a standout character as well, even though he was all CGI. But he was really well animated, and I thought he was well used in the film. So the aspects that I enjoy the most of this movie definitely would be the moments when he's conflicting with what he's doing basically as a superhero. And I know this isn't exactly a new trope in superhero movies, but I definitely think that this plays a little bit stronger in terms of what's going on in the current world. And I guess this was kind of going into spoiler territory a little bit, maybe not a whole lot because I'm not talking about the narrative at all, but it definitely does tie into current world events like drastically, and I think that part of it will definitely be a little bit divisive. It definitely has a very strong message in terms of like good and evil, and who's portrayed as good and who's portrayed as evil. So I think I definitely think that since that message comes out very strong as to the tie-ins to current world events, that it will definitely divide a lot of people on the film. James Gunn is actually pretty well known about his political stances and the stuff that he stands for in the real world. And I do like that he kind of ties it into his filmmaking as it's, you know, it's an honest take for sure. But yeah, there definitely are moments where it is a bit divisive and things stand out drastically. But if you kind of look past that a little bit, you know, I think that it is a solid film as a whole. Is it a perfect film? Not at all. But I do think that it is probably one of the best Superman movies, period. I don't think that it's one of the best superhero movies, period. But again, I'm not the biggest Superman fan. And also, that being said, the divisiveness in terms of like the messages in the movie, I completely agree with as well. So the things that he did and wrote in the movie didn't detach from my experience at all. But with that being said, you can definitely see James Gunn's you know, signature filmmaking skills. He does a lot of really interesting like up close shots, which at first I didn't really like, but it kind of grew on me a little bit towards the end. And of course, he's got a lot of really great action sequences as well, which are, I guess, downside it is heavily CGI, but that is okay. I think honestly this movie will probably land in the upper 70 to like maybe upper 80 range in terms of all of the scores and ratings when it all comes said and done. And I'm anticipating the the reviews from the audience to be a little bit lower than that, probably in the 60 range, just because of some of the decisions. I was listening to a lot of the people who were walking out of the movie, and there were people who were saying, yeah, I love the movie, and I didn't like it at all. Surprisingly, I've never heard that before. But yeah, with that being said, I absolutely love the movie. It wasn't perfect, but I would definitely rate it like a mid 7, like a 7.5, maybe an 8. I think there were aspects of the film that definitely grew on me towards the end, and I do think that this film will age better, I think, than most people realize. So if you already seen the movie, let me know in the comments, and if you don't plan on seeing the movie, let me know as well. If anyone has any questions, also put them down below. Leave a like, it would also mean the world to me. And if you enjoyed my content, definitely hit that subscribe button as well, okay? Otherwise, that's all from me for now. I appreciate y'all for watching the video. Take it easy now, okay? Bye-bye.